Welcome to the Pixel Marketing Show, the podcast for real estate media pros who want to go from random acts of marketing to remarkable results. I'm your host, Pete Stagel, founder of Pixel CRM and creator of the Pixel Marketing Method. And every week, we're diving into the systems, strategies, and real stories that help you attract better clients, retain them longer, and grow a real business. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the show. I've got Marshall with Marshall Adams Media on today. He's a Pixel CRM user and has been going through the Pixel Marketing Method. Welcome, Marshall. Let's start about how you got started in the industry, even altogether.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Pete. Appreciate it. Before doing real estate photography, I was running a online business, and I was selling hand-blown glass. And selling it through Amazon, eBay. I would import it, I'd white label it. And that business was okay. Took a lot of money to make happen. You had to have a warehouse full of stuff. You had to manage it all. You had to have a warehouse. I live in Southern California, so it's a little expensive here. So I did that. And around the pandemic, I got really nervous. We were unsure of what was going to come in, what was going to happen. And in that industry, you have to be 6-8 months out ordering stuff for the holiday seasons. That's when we make our money. And I just really was like, you know what? I think there's something better out there. And, I was watching some YouTube videos and people were starting talking about Matterport and you can make money with Matterport. So I checked all that out and I was like, yeah, that's great. But that's one service, right? And realized, oh, there's a whole other industry behind that, which was real estate photography. And so I started researching that, came across some YouTube videos about that. And, was just like blown away by it because I have always been into photography. At the time, I wasn't into photography, but growing up, like I can remember, like my dad will always have a camera back when we had to do film, and you actually had to, pay for it. You had to pay for the film. You had to pay for it to be developed and all that fun stuff. And I just remember being so excited to take photos. And somewhere along, I just got out of it. But this really excited me because I was like, oh, I do like photography. I really don't know much about it, but and I like the business inside of it. I'd been in and out of businesses for a while. I like the reoccurring business. And I like that it was a service business for Orange County so that, prices were going to be good. I wasn't competing with somebody in Arkansas that was, having less overhead than I did, which happened a lot in the other industry. And so, and I also was, growing up, was in construction with my father and built homes, remodeled homes. And so I really liked being in houses and seeing the architectural stuff. And so I just thought this was like a great fit for me. So I jumped in, got some courses on that, just followed that to the T. My challenge was I was still running the other business. And so trying to juggle two businesses at the same time for a while there was quite a feat. But it's been a great journey all the way through. So it's been a great time.
I didn't realize that you were in the whole e-com import export type stuff there.
Yeah.
My first online, well, not first, but my big online stuff was all physical product sales as well. I had some stuff that we'd sell on Amazon and through direct response websites, and so that's interesting. So what did you end up doing with the glass blown thing?
Yeah, I actually just ended up kind of just getting rid of it.
Okay.
I ended up closing up shop and getting rid of all the product and closing up it was just, wasn't really something that was sellable. So, and there was a lot of work involved in selling it and getting people involved with that. So I just started liquidating everything and got rid of it all. And eventually a lot of friends got a lot of glassware. So
Yep. It's interesting. A lot of people, they look at serial entrepreneurs because that's ultimately what you are. You've had multiple businesses and what have you. And they say, oh, well, big exits are what everybody's always looking at. And sometimes it's just, getting out of it without, losing losing all your money.
Yeah.
and moving on to the next thing. And
Yeah.
and that's perfectly fine. I've done a lot of businesses like that where it made a bunch of money, but it wasn't. I didn't set it up in a way that I could sell it, and so it was just
Yes.
liquidate the assets and move on to the next
Yeah.
thing because you get bored or the opportunity is not there anymore, or
Yeah.
um, you just
Yeah, the
decide that.
opportunity was really not there anymore. The actual manufacturer that I started out with started going online and white labeling their own stuff. And so
Yep.
they were selling it really inexpensive and just yeah, they were just ripping off all my because I came in there when I first came in there, I had to make up how to sell on hand blown glass. So I was making up all the descriptions, making up all the titles, and
All before
creating
AI
all.
too, right?
Oh yes, oh yes, a lot of research, looking through, and then Amazon's not fun to deal with. They're very, you're dealing with their algorithms a lot, so you're not even really dealing with real people, and they're telling you, you don't know, you should have it at this price, and if you don't have it at this price, you don't have the buy box. And if you don't know what a buy box is, basically that's where Amazon, you could press the button to buy it. If it's not there, you have to like dig through the listing. And then that listing's not even near the top anymore. It's somewhere else. And
Yeah.
so it was just a lot of, I was a small fish in a big pond. And I realized that. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep. Yeah. I completely understand that. I've been I've been there. Um, so when you started your real estate photography, um,
Yeah.
did you go in it, wanting to have a team and everything like that, or did you go in it just as a I like this. This seems like it'd be a little bit safer, a little bit better, and you're just gonna do it yourself and be in the field.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. I didn't look to expand past myself. It was more like, can I make this work? Can I do this? Can I make this for my new business? And I didn't really see that, expanding past myself was possible. And so, I just went in, and started networking, started, reaching out to people. And, before you know it, I'm like, a year in and I'm so busy. I stopped reaching out to people. I stopped doing any marketing because I was just so overwhelmed. And that was just last year. So,
Yeah.
it was and that was when I realized. And then what I realized was one of my biggest ones was when I was really scared to bring on, employees to help out team members in the field. I had VAs working for me, but what I realized was if I wasn't available, they quickly went somewhere else. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, they're just going to quickly go somewhere else. Why should I be, I now have a team member that can pick up the slack. So
Yeah, if they're gonna use somebody new, it might as well be somebody new that's on your team, not just some random person.
exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so that was you said that was just last year that you got so busy that you started hiring a team and whatnot,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so last year, by the end of the summer, I was just worn out, and I was like, it pretty much forced me to like, okay, you got to make this change, you got to make this transition into hiring someone, bringing someone on. So I brought my first employee on in October of last year, um, and trained him up through the wintertime, and got clients acclimated with him and okay with him. And yeah, it's been great, And then this year, I brought on another photographer to fill in the gaps, part time. And my first one's working full time now for me, and it's great. I'm really shocked because I've been trying different businesses to get to a point now where it's like I can work on the marketing and finding out, oh my gosh, I love this marketing aspect, how to, do all this emails, how to market, how to sell, and just building a business and actually running a business. And I really felt like that. I told my girlfriend the other day, with all the challenges and everything, I still am like, I'm just happy to be running a business at this point. I'm not, working
Yeah.
in the business, I'm working on the business, and that's great. And that, and because of you, and your systems and coming through and your marketing genius, I've been learning a lot and I really appreciate it. So it's been a great ride, running with Pixel CRM and you. So
That's awesome. I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate that, and it's been fun watching you grow with all of that, all the systems and whatnot. So we talk, fairly regularly. You're in some of the higher level programs that we have, um, and I know that you're not in the field anymore, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So I'm completely at this point just working on the business. I got two photographers in the field. And so I'm just working on the systems, the onboarding system, we got all that set up and we're now working on the uh, we got the client reactivation and we're doing the referrals and the loyalty programs, which are just exciting because as I was growing my business, and that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about your system in the beginning was like as I grew, even as a solo entrepreneur, I was like unsure where people are at or if somebody had a bad experience. And with your system,
Yeah,
I was able to, at least have systems going out there checking on them, right? And having
yeah,
the thumbs up or thumbs down to, oh, are they happy or are they not happy? And that, really set the tone for me to feel better. And as I brought, employees on, I have that checks and balance to know that that's
yeah,
out there, for people to give me feedback. Um,
yeah.
so, the other reason I quickly, I think it was about a year ago, right? Or 2 years ago,
Something
I
like
got
that.
signed up with you. I don't remember exactly what, I just was looking for a CRM and somebody turned me on to you. And, I was just blown away by your review process and how, that system just would get me reviews. And that was a great way to also just get feedback because I go, I think everything, I don't have what to say, when I have like when people don't show up, I'm like, oh, they just left. They don't like me. I have this negative experience. And so the feedbacks have been really helpful to look back and be like, oh no, a lot of people at this point now we have like 130 because of your
Hmm.
system. Great feedback. And what's been awesome is because I started somewhat, a while ago, I have all that data to bring back and put into my marketing now and
Yep.
say, look at all these feedbacks we have, in different circumstances and different parts of our system and teams. And so that's been very helpful with that. And, the process of going solo or going from solo to, a team hasn't been all rainbows because, people don't like that. I've definitely lost some clients because I'm not showing up. And what's the most fun part about it is that all of a sudden, in this industry, you don't get a lot of feedback. If, clients, agents are looking to say, they're just getting their photos and they got to get that listed. And then next thing they got to start marketing. So they don't have a lot of time. And usually you don't hear back from them. And so a lot
Yeah.
of times I didn't know. And now people are like, well, Marshall, we really want you. You're the best out there. You're just so good. That's the problem. You're just so good. And so so that's been challenging because as a person that likes people and I'm a people pleaser and I don't want to let people down and to hear that they're not happy or would rather have me, so that's been challenging, but
How was the process of getting yourself out of the field with that, as you trained your photographer and got most of your clients happy with, the
yeah.
quality and the service that an employee would give you? How did you make that transition?
Yeah, great question. I don't think I did it well. I would just say that
That's helpful
like
too.
yeah, I would say you just definitely for me what I learned you got to be upfront with them. Because what I did a lot of times was made it look like, oh, I'm not available. I'm not
Hmm.
available. And so many times of that and them getting the other photographer, they're feeling like he doesn't, he's too good for me. They come up with their own reasonings as to why I'm not showing up instead of
Yep.
having the story of like, I'm building my business and I'm stepping out of photography. So you will get this gentleman. He's great, and what I realized is if I had done that sooner, I probably wouldn't have lost as many clients as I did or had as many hiccups and bumps along the way of just communicating to them like, hey, this is what's happening.
Hmm.
So they're not, coming up with their own reasoning for not me not showing up. Right. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I think that was one of my biggest takeaways. But on the other side of that is like this summer, it's been a lot of work. I still work a lot of hours, but it's not as physically demanding. And I can do a lot more stuff because I'm in the office. I'm not on the
Yeah.
field. I'm not driving around. I just went to a shoot with my photographer the other day, and I was like, wow, yeah, I'm glad, I could focus on the marketing. Not that I don't miss those, going out and shooting, but it's, you have those challenging houses that are just like a lot. And
Yeah.
so, so the transition from that, there was a lot of a learning experience, how to train the photographer, how to make sure he gets the shots that he wants, how to get the videos. Um, and so those were very, very much learning experiences. And, it's just a lot of time. That's the other thing is like, I realized it took more time than I thought it would to train someone. And so just be patient. That's what I learned is be patient with them. But what, once you get past that, now I have people asking for Hunter, right? My photographer. They're asking for specific, they're getting tips. I didn't get tips. I'm like, these tips are coming in. I'm like, I didn't get tips. So, that's the other fun part is as you grow, now they don't even know that you don't shoot anymore, right? They just
Yeah.
assume this is the way it is, and they actually want Hunter versus me. And so that's fun. And they're, still getting feedbacks. People love them. So, you know, it's,
That's awesome. It's always great to hear the stories of how of what you've done in the past and then how you grew, because a lot of that plays into it. A lot of it, sets perspective as to how you went into the business and what you were trying to get out of it.
yeah,
Your story is, a lot more similar to mine in that I've run other businesses. I came in this wanting to run a business, not
yeah,
be a photographer. And so, it's very easy for me to build a team, get the team out there and get out of the field fairly quickly. I did it quite frankly, very similar to you. In that it was just, I'm just not on the calendar. um, I did find, much like you did, is that communicating is definitely a better
yeah,
route to take. I wouldn't say that I pushed it off as I wasn't available. It was just the calendar just didn't put me available. And
yes,
when the new people would show up, a lot of times I would go along with them if it was if it was
yeah,
a higher producing agent that I wanted to make sure that I could make the introduction and whatnot, and I really wouldn't even tell them that I wasn't shooting. It would just be we would both show up. They'd go off and shoot the house, and I'd go chat with
yeah.
the agent about business and marketing, and yeah, we're growing our business. I got a photographer, blah blah blah, and just played it off that way. And at that point, I wasn't tracking as well as we do now. We didn't have Pixel CRM, so I
Yeah.
don't know that I've lost as many clients that way, but that a lot of the more higher producers, they stuck around, and that's what I
Yeah.
ultimately found is that as you build a team, you're going to lose a lot of the people that wanted that high touch service,
Yeah.
the ones that are hiring you because of you and your creative skill or whatever they think it is. Um,
Yeah.
and I say that because everybody in real estate photography knows you're pretty much taking the same shots and you're
Yes.
editing it the same way,
Yes.
and it's it it's it's not as
Yeah.
creative as people think
It's
it is.
not. It's not. That's always a weird conversation to be having with your agents too, because you want to tell them like, oh, it's just the same, but you also don't want to say that either, because then they
Yeah,
start,
just say, wait, if
So
it's all the same, then I can hire that cheap guy down the street, right?
yeah,
And you're like, no, 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 no,
exactly.
no. We're not
Yeah.
that same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all the same. It's always
Yeah.
funny when we would get somebody who is a photographer. It's like, oh, so and so's a portrait photographer or art landscape photographer,
Yeah.
and then you get there and they're following you around and they're like, well, what are you doing this? What are you doing? It's like, I don't know. It's a cheap camera from Walmart. I don't know what you're talking about. I just stand in the corner, click buttons.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I loved. I don't hire any, actual photographers. I just hire, people that are good with you, like have good
Yeah,
customer service, good, good people, because I can train them how to shoot photography, and you know.
Well, at
And
least now you can, now that you've
yeah, yeah.
built that process out, right?
Yeah, I know what an f-stop is. I know what ISOs are, so
Yeah, the exposure triangle. Um, so as you made that transition, and like you said, it's been only
yeah,
about the course of the year that you've transitioned out of the field and started really having the time to put into marketing and to
yeah.
systems. Um, you are I'd have to look when you signed up, but I know that in the beginning you were much like a lot of our
Yeah.
older clients in that you came in on the feedback and reviews, and that's kind of where you stayed for a little while. And you're
Yeah.
like, there's all sorts of stuff that Sys can do, but I don't know what to do with it, so I'm just gonna let it
Yes.
run and do
Yeah.
whatever else you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, what what made you start diving into the system more? Was it just the fact that you had more time or something else?
Um, no, I would say definitely because I had more time. But I also, now that I'm not shooting, the main reason was I was doing, this year I was doing a lot more marketing and doing broker presentations, broker previews, going to open houses. But I just always was like gathering leads, but never really having a system that tracked or knew where we were at, or even if it was working. Like now realizing this is my full-time job, I need to be efficient. And what is working for me? So like not having any of those systems in place, I realized, so I started, poking around again in the system, and that's when I realized, oh, look, when we started, I don't think Pixel Masterclass was available. I don't know that that was there. Maybe it was. And I just didn't have time. And I go, oh, look, he's got this, and he's got the Omni Outreach, and I was like, and then it really helped because just thinking of getting new clients. I'm not thinking of retaining new clients. And this system really helps you to think about, no, let's also fix the leaky bucket, and make sure that all the clients that you do have you're in touch with at some level of wherever they're at in the sales process, or if, between the leads and the clients, just you're being in touch with them. And so seeing all that, it was just like, yes, I need that. you know, I need a new, and I love the Omni outreach. That's been going actually pretty well. People are interested in my transitional offer, and using the voicemail drops, and even I think I today got a client that hasn't used me in a year, or at least a year,
Mhm.
reach out, and I can go look at her contact in Pixel CRM, and it was like, oh yeah, we sent, are you not the one you're still in business, but the reactivation one, where it's just like, here's, a credit towards your next listing.
Yeah.
She got that email, and then she also just got the weekly email this morning. And so you can only imagine that must be why she reached out, right?
Yep.
So,
You became top of mind again all of a sudden. And it was like, oh yeah,
yes,
I did like them. They are
yes,
still in business. I should probably use
yes,
them. Yep.
yes, exactly. So when I saw that stuff in there, I was like, I got to dive in, make this happen. And you've been great because you get on support calls, help me out, or walk me through it, even give me some marketing tips. And so I've just appreciated that. So
Yeah. And anybody who gets on a support call with me, pretty quickly realizes that I love talking about marketing. And it's funny because it's a lot of times it's the same conversation that I'm having with multiple people throughout the day,
yeah,
because a lot of people are in that same boat where they're trying to get out of wherever they are now. And a lot of it starts with your magnetic messaging, your USPs, your
yeah,
targeting, all of that stuff, and then
yeah,
your
which I had
irresistible
never worked
offers.
before. Yes,
Yeah.
the magnetic marketing has really helped me. Even like, just knowing that. And so I've had clients, that call me up, and then when they find out it's not me, they move on, or I could tell it's kind of the price, somebody's undercutting me somewhere, but they only do one or two listings a year. Like, so I'm like,
Hmm.
they're not my target audience. That's okay.
Yeah. And the great thing about that is that even if they're not your target audience, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get business from them.
Right.
Because some of them will just be attracted to everything else you're doing, and they're going to want to do business with you, and you just provided that they fit in your box, not you and theirs.
Right.
You can still do the shoot, but you attract much more of the people that you want in your
Yeah.
business, and you want that in your particular business. You want that
Yeah.
higher volume, more
Right.
reoccurring
Right.
shoots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I think the overall putting the system in place has helped me psychologically deal with a lot of the other stuff that happens because I have a framework for where I'm sitting, who I'm going after, what's happening. For example, I mean, one I just popped in my mind was, having a reward system, which we're about ready to set up, and having that, and then being able to tell clients that ask for discounts, be like, oh yeah, we definitely have that. And I said, oh, my marketing manager and I are working on that, and we're going to have a reward system, and just
mhm.
having that instead of giving them a discount or falling into the trap of like, yeah, okay, I'll give you 10, 20% off,
Yeah. And then you got to
stuff like
dig out of that for the next year and a half. Well, after doing that,
yes.
yeah, that's there's a reason why I put all 9 steps of the framework together. Because it was all the things that I implemented in my business.
Yeah.
Some of it's better now than it was when I had it, obviously, because you iterate and you train and
Yeah.
you teach this to enough people. It's like, actually, you're a great example because we worked on the higher
Yeah.
level stuff on your stuff, and just going through it and walking you through all of the different pieces of it has even just tweaked a lot of the framework.
Yes.
It
Yeah, just tweaking, like, why we have to sign in to go to the order form,
yeah.
and just those simple, you don't think about it. I mean, you just set, sometimes you just, and that's what's great about this whole system is that, like, it's made me throughout my whole business look at different aspects. And one was, why do I have to log in to place an order? That's probably a huge friction for clients. And so we got rid of that. Now we don't, you can go on there and you don't have to put in your information. You just fill out the
And do you have
form.
people booking online more now than you did
Yes.
before?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
at least it
Exactly.
had the effect that it should have.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. It did.
So as
It's,
you're putting a lot of these systems in place, are you
yeah.
seeing results from them, or are you just, spending your time putting
I'm
all these
just spending
systems?
my time playing with systems.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No. Honestly, it has been, yeah, no, I see results, in the fact of, um, just like I shared earlier, that lady that reached out to me, for
Yeah.
that, when we sent, we were, when we really reaction, when we sent the reactivation out, people, texted me saying, oh, yeah, I've been doing with a lot of buyer agents, or I switched to XYZ, or, you know what I mean? So you get a lot of feedback, and people, the other thing is people do read the emails, or they at least click on them, they're opening them,
Yeah.
and
Especially
so
if you're
that,
getting responses.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and those were the text messages. So that was good. And what was your question? Basically, am I getting results?
Yeah.
Yes. The bottom line is yes, I'm getting results. Results with, client the client on roadmap. It's hard to know if you're getting results from that, but I know now, like, we have an
Staying top of
email.
mind is always going to be a
Yeah.
hard metric to see, which is why we toss offers in there and whatnot. And
Yeah.
knowing where you are in the process, you're going to get to that point where you just start tossing some, doing offers and your referral processes throughout
Right.
the year, and those are the touch points that you'll actually start seeing results from. You can see how well it just staying in touch works.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah. I think the whole onboarding, now we have a complete onboarding sequence,
yeah,
that we can, onboard people. They know where to book stuff. They know, and then it goes into the marketing kit and goes into us. And, that whole email sequence, I really, builds that know, like, and trust, through
yeah.
emails, and keeps us top of mind. Um, the other thing, what was I going to say? There was one other system that just really, helped out.
The
It'll
offers
come to me.
probably.
Oh
even
yes,
just
yes, changing up the offers. Yes, just change. So having a transitional offer versus just a free photo shoot,
yeah,
that has really helped get more people to raise their hand. And the idea that raising their hand and then putting them into your funnel so you can stay top of mind and you can follow up without being like, hey, do you have a shoot? Hey, do you have a shoot? Oh, we'll add in a floor plan with that. We don't have to do any of that, and
yeah,
it's all automated and he keeps track of it. So
yeah.
um,
That
those.
I think was the biggest game changer in my business was when I transitioned from just book a shoot to a transitional offer of
Yeah.
having, something that would get them to be able to raise their hand and understanding that raising your hand is the goal of all your cold outreach rather than booking a shoot takes you out of that almost slimy salesy position and
Yeah.
puts you into a value added, let me help you with your
Right.
business.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
that
then
changes the whole frame.
it does. It does. And then they've raised their hands, so now they can stay in your marketing and emails and follow ups, and then run them to your introductory offer, which has so much value that they can't say no to, which has been great.
Yeah.
Versus and especially now that I have photographers in the field, I'm not. It's not costing me. It's a break even for me because I get some money,
Yep.
but they get a lot of value in the meantime. So. Yeah, it's
Yep.
been very
And
helpful.
you can keep them busy because you're actually getting a marketing system behind you to bring new clients in.
Yes. Yes.
So if you were talking to somebody else about, all of the changes you've made in your business and all the systems you've installed,
Yeah.
and they were saying, well, how did you do that? What would you tell them about Pixel CRM?
How did I make all the changes with
Oh,
the system?
if you're just talking about your business and how you did this and this and this, and it's like, and a lot of that is due to Pixel Serum. You should try this, or you definitely need to go, uh, you know, go through the Pixel marketing method and pick up the book, do something because these are that valuable that you needed to
Oh, yeah. I
get the
mean,
process out there.
you're in my ear all the time. I'm constantly re-listening to stuff. So changing the systems, I would highly recommend weekends and times when you have no one bothering you. You can just dive in and make them because Uh, that's what I found the best, and I found that I enjoyed it. That surprisingly, just making the systems, setting them up, making the emails, crafting the emails, and then as I'm doing all these things, I'm also learning why we're doing these and why we're doing it in this way. All this marketing genius you got there, that's coming through. So definitely um I used both. I used the book. I think I listened to the book through and then would sit down and do the Pixel Master class, watch that. If I needed it, didn't quite understand how to set something up, I would book a support call with you, and you were very great about jumping on and helping me walk through that. um and then rewatching our Loom videos that we had together, those really helped. um
And throwing them through ChatGPT to just write your emails
yeah.
with whatever it is I said.
Yeah, I mean it takes a lot of work to put it through, right? Three couple
Yeah.
months or 3 months. But the great thing is as you build these pieces, a lot of these pieces are you can move it around to other spots and they connect, and then you can rework. And so it's a system that's once you're done, it's not going to email; it just goes away after. It's a repetitive thing,
Yeah.
every day. I got notifications for me to call my new clients, notifications to touch base with other clients. The one I like the most is after we've done the onboarding sequence, there's a text message that goes out that says, how did you do with the marketing stuff? Did it work? How's your listing going? And it seems like people love that because I get responses, just like they just like you touching base and touching in with
Yeah.
them, make
Yeah.
sure that everything's good.
Real estate's still a relationship driven industry. And a
Yeah.
lot of people only, communicate when they're trying to get a shoot or during the shoot, and they don't
Yeah.
have any of this, after the fact follow up. And that text message you just mentioned, it's just you're confirming to your client that you care, that
Right.
you want to see if there's anything else you can do to help them.
Right.
And that's what people are looking for. And that's where you have additional value, which without actually doing anything else other than to just reaching out and saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
how's that going?" You're building that know, like, and trust, and that value with them, and they want to keep on using you and referring you. And
Yeah.
and that's the big piece, is that a lot of people, the number one thing that people tell me when I ask them what they're, how are you getting clients now? Oh, word of mouth and referrals.
Right.
Great. What system do you have in place to do that automatically? Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's just when
Yeah.
people refer me. But
Yeah.
that's the whole power of, putting these
Right.
systems in place, is that it happens every single time. And it's not just the fact that you have time now to just sit in the office and work on this, because you're working on this stuff, not in there. You're not in there responding to people and calling them
No.
all the time manually. You're doing it because
Right.
the system
Yeah.
is in place to do it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The system tells me, hey, we just booked a call. Let's touch base with them. Or, like especially new calls, like new books, right? It tells me it's a new client. They just booked. Follow
Mm-hmm.
up with them and introduce yourself. So
Yeah.
that's what I do, and I don't have to think about it. I just do it.
And
Yeah.
that's a big key too, is just, following the system when it does get to that manual interaction. And you're better
Yeah.
at that than I am, because I personally don't like the phone. I don't like reaching out and doing stuff, but
Yeah.
I know it works. And when I
Yeah.
do it, it works or even better.
Yeah.
But you're actually, you set up the system so that
Yeah.
you don't have to think about it. It's like, that's what's happening today.
Yep.
That's the call that's the call I'm
Yeah.
making right now.
Yeah.
And you just do it. That's
And it's
awesome.
great because I have a script in there already. So like the tasks, and then the script is in there. So I just, go off the script. I don't have to, think about what I'm going to say. I kind of have an idea and go from there. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
really great. Yeah. So
Is there anything else you'd want to tell somebody about Pixel CRM or the Pixel marketing method, or um
I- start on it sooner than later. I wish I had started this, years ago, with getting all these systems in place. And because it's something that you can do on the weekends every here and there and get it all set up in a couple months. And it's not like you have to get them all set up. Just start plugging away and you can start getting some of these things involved. But highly recommend doing it for your business, because it just, I think, overall helps the health of your business. Staying in touch with your clients, being different from the other photographer that just shoots the house, then leaves and never hears from them again. This system allows to keep in touch. And I think that is huge these days, as more and more photographers come into the field and try to undercut you can be different. So
yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
yeah.
Are you going to be at any of the conferences in Vegas this year?
Yes, yeah, I'll definitely be at PMRE
Awesome.
this year. So yeah.
Awesome. We'll be there. We'll be doing
Cool.
a book signing marketing mastermind Wednesday evening, I believe. I have to look at the
Awesome.
calendar and the stuff. And so, definitely be on the lookout for the registration link. It will be a invite only event. So you'll just
Nice.
register and claim your RSVP. That way, you know how many people are going to come up to the little suite. But it'll be interesting. It'll be cool to have you there and a lot of our other users. Marketing, networking, and
Yeah.
learning more about what other people are doing, because
Yeah, I'm
it's such a
excited to see you there. That'll be
yeah,
great. And get a book signed. That'll be fun.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on with me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's always great to listen to see how people, grow in their business, and how we can be a part of that. So
Yeah. You're welcome, Pete. You've been great for me, and a lot. You've given me a lot of value. So I'm happy to be here. I don't this first time I've done this for someone, so that means a lot.
I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Pete. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Pixel Marketing Show. You're ready to go from random acts of marketing to remarkable results. Grab your free copy of the Pixel Marketing Method at pixelmarketingmethodbook.com. If this episode helped you, share it with another real estate media business owner. Make sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Until next time.